Hi guys, it's Ismail from Xanco Jewellers back with another watch review, and a watch review I'm very excited for as it is a brand that we have not covered on the channel before. It's also very exciting because it is one of the first of this brand that we have sold to a very good client of ours. It really is, on top of that, just exciting because we are moving more into independence, as you would have seen on the YouTube channel with us covering FP Journe. And now we have another Swiss independent watchmaker, Greubel Forsey. The model in particular we're going to be looking at from this brand is the Greubel Forsey Balancier Convexe 3. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, before I get into this beautiful Balancier Convexe 3 that's in my hands right now, I thought it'd be good to mention a bit about the brand itself. The brand was founded in 2004, so it's relatively a very, very young brand. It's a Swiss independent watchmaking company that had a lot of R&D that they put into their watches. They wanted to come into the watch industry with the angle of having a completely unique identity compared to other brands. This Balancier Convexe 3 is a testament to that. It's a stunningly, almost alien looking watch compared to other Swiss watchmaking brands, which makes it very exciting to see and very refreshing to see. I love the fact that it's quite futuristic looking compared to other brands. This Balancier Convexe 3 though was limited to 88 pieces, as many other Greubel Forseys are limited runs as well. So this will no longer be in production after it's filled out its allocations. One thing looking at Greubel Forsey in the flesh is that you can really realize that he does beautify and compartmentalize the movement so that you can see each individual part, but he also brings it more to life. Now, to talk about the watch's aesthetics, first, let's start with the most striking part about this watch, which is the dial. The dial has a small seconds disc that is placed at the 7 o'clock, and right next to that is the large balance wheel, which inherently has given the name to the watch, the Balancier 3. What I love about the small seconds that is rotating is the fact that the disc is rotating and there's not a small ticking hand, which again kind of alludes to that really futuristic look that Greubel Forsey achieves on all their watches. The watch has these beautiful skeletonized hands, again kind of giving that futuristic look with a loom as well, which I think is brilliant to have added that into this watch for legibility. That goes all the way out to the rehaut where the hours and minutes, so you can track your time, are. When you look at the watch from certain angles, you can see that the rehaut is actually not just one circle, but it is convex and it does have dips, which I think make for a really, really futuristic looking watch, but also just so much more interesting than having a regular circle dial. The dial is of course in black, and it also features a black rubber strap to accentuate that and contrast against the titanium case. And on the back it has a titanium fold over clasp, which, just like many other independent brands that use a more sporty feel, kind of like Richard Mille, it's very functional and easy to use. Now, on the case back, which is one of my favorite parts on the exhibition case back, is a power reserve. And I find that really interesting because not many brands use the back of their movements to show a function. I think having a power reserve is a playful touch on maybe having a battery at the back of your watch. One thing to note about the case shape, as I mentioned, it's kind of dipped and curved and waved, but this is one of the first Greubel Forseys to not feature screws on the lugs, which I find makes for a really sleek and complex looking watch. The convex case is profiled on both the back and the display sides, as the piece kind of follows the curvature of your wrist. It's extremely ergonomic and comfortable to wear because it does just come over your wrist rather than kind of stopping with the lugs and then the strap coming underneath. On the dial side, the double curvature dips towards each side of the strap, which you would see on other brands like Richard Mille. I find that integrated strap and the rubber strap makes it extremely comfortable again on the wrist. In terms of the watch's style, it's characterized by its three prominent bridges. First of which houses the barrel, second for the large balance wheel, and third attached to the seconds counter and supports the hour and minute hands. All of these feature Greubel Forsey's signature hand finishing: the curved polished surfaces, the polished bevels and hand polished screws. The 2 series coupled fast rotating barrels do one turn in 3.2 hours and are clearly visible and decorated with a unique rotating graphics design that has become a staple of the Convex collection. Together they provide real chronometric power reserve of 3 full days, which I find amazing. Now, in terms of the technical specifications of this watch, it obviously has the complications of hours, minutes, the seconds and small seconds, and the power reserve on the case back, so it's by no means overly complicated. In terms of the watch's size, the case size is 41.5 millimeters with a case thickness of 12.6 millimeters, but while saying that, and it does sound quite large, it's almost similar to a deep sea from Rolex, for example. It is just so much more wearable because of the titanium case, as this watch doesn't really weigh much. As mentioned before, it has the 2 series large rotating barrels that do 1 full turn in 3 days, giving you a power reserve of 3 days. The watch is also water resistant to 50 meters. It doesn't look like a watch that is water resistant, but it definitely is, so you can enjoy this for any time that you want to take it into the water. Now, this movement also is a manufacturer manual wind, but it uses Greubel Forsey's large balance wheel to give it that full power reserve, which I find amazing. In terms of price, the RRP is £180,350, but is available with us today for £155,000 in unworn condition. So with that being said, there is a nice saving, and that goes across the board for most Greubel Forsey models, unless they are extremely limited in their numbers. Now, in terms of actual comparables on the market, there aren't that many that I would say look similar to Greubel Forsey. There are other independent watchmakers that I would say, such as MB&F, Ulysse Nardin and Urwerk, for example, that have a similar look. Most closely, I would say, to the Greubel Forsey is MB&F, with usually using the balance wheel on the front of the watch, which I find really exciting and fun to look at. Another comparison to make would be with FP Journe. The asymmetry is quite well placed and strategically placed, similar to what you would see on perhaps a CS or an Octa Automatique. One little touch I would like to add on is the gargantuan box next to me, which is the presentation of this Balancier 3. They give an extremely large box, but arguably for an extremely large retail number, and that comes with a large travel case, a loop, which I find great, and also cloths and gloves underneath everything, which not every brand does give. So it is a small touch, but it does make all the difference when you are buying these watches. They also have a presentation wallet or a folder similar to what you would see on Grand Complications, with all of the breakdown. The number of the watch and the warranty is inside this booklet as well. So again, just those little touches that make these independent brands so much more exciting sometimes to other mainstream competitors. Now, if I was to give my concluding thoughts, I think this watch is an absolute steal at the price it is under its retail price. There aren't many titanium competitors other than from mainstream brands such as Audemars Piguet with the titanium tourbillon pieces, and also Richard Mille, the 6701, I would say is almost in the same price bracket for this watch. So I would say that it's a really nice alternative to mainstream brands and having something completely unique, which is exactly what Greubel Forsey has done on this Balancier 3. So guys, if you enjoyed that review, please remember to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and if you want to see more Greubel Forsey on the channel, make sure to put your post notifications on, because there will be some coming very soon. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next review.